Yesterday was the NHL trade deadline. Some teams got significantly better, some teams got worse, and some teams, like the Montreal Canadiens, they didn't do anything. That's right. For the first time since 2013, they didn't do shit. And it's kind of a sad situation because some of you were hyped, some of you were probably even calling in sick yesterday so you could stay home and watch the fireworks. But at the end of the day, you didn't get nothing. Not even that Christian Dvorak for a bag of hickory sticks deal that you've been hoping for. But ladies and gentlemen, I stand before you to tell you that it's going to be okay. It's okay that they didn't sell the farm for Rantanen, and it's okay that they kept Mario Armia, and they're probably going to sign him to an 8x8 contract extension. Oh man, that cough, it's going around. This video is brought to you by Breaks TV. Have you ever wondered where you can get these beautiful Z-frames? Breaks TV. Have you ever wondered where you could purchase singular hockey cards? Breaks TV. Pfft, Shane. And if you want to buy one of these bad boys for the man cave or replace some of that stupid looking home decor that your wife is rocking on the walls right now, I've got some good news for you. All you gotta do is use the promo code HJ20 and you can get $20 off each frame. That's HJ20 to get yourself a deal. Alright, here we go. So there was quite a bit of action yesterday. And a lot of these teams, they knocked it out of the park. For example, the Colorado Avalanche. They're a much better team today. The Dallas Stars are a much better team. The Florida Panthers, look what they did. Wow. They got a full-on rat infestation over there. But as for Kent Hughes and the Canadiens, they didn't do anything. They didn't make any moves. There's a lot of fans who just can't seem to wrap their brains around it right now. So in today's video, I'm going to try and explain why the trade deadline was pretty quiet for the Canadiens. And I'm going to do this by breaking it down into a few categories. Because the way I see it, I like to keep it simple. If you're going to be active at the trade deadline, you're either A, a buyer, B, a seller, or C, somebody just trying to make a good old-fashioned hockey trade. Like the original Rantanen trade, which really turned out to bite the Canes in the ass. Question number 1. Should the Canadiens have been a buyer at the trade deadline? Absolutely not. Yeah, they're currently battling for a playoff spot. They could definitely use some help to make it happen. However, not only were the price tags on some of these guys insane, but at this point in the rebuild, there's not a snowball's chance in hell that I'd be willing to sacrifice the future to try and make a push for a Stanley Cup this season. They're just not ready for that yet. We need to keep in mind that the long-term plans are much more important than playing 5 or 6 playoff games. Maybe 10 if you're playing the Leafs in the first round, but Hughes and Gordon, they know what they're doing. They're trying to build a dynasty here, okay? We're not planning some 70-year-old's birthday party, no. So if being a buyer at the trade deadline doesn't make a whole lot of sense, let's move on to question number 2. Should the Canadiens have been a seller at the trade deadline? And this, of course, was their approach over the past couple of seasons. We've seen a lot of players get moved at the deadline. They got dumped for picks, they got dumped for prospects, but for a couple of different reasons, this year, it was different, wasn't it? Number 1, I don't think any of these particular rentals had a whole lot of value on the trade market. Nobody was offering up a first-round pick for David Savard. And number 2, what little value they did have probably doesn't outweigh what they're already bringing to the team. You know what I mean? Everybody seems like they're happy right now in that locker room. They've been playing above my expectations for this season, so only an idiot would disturb that kind of chemistry for like a third-round pick. Come on, they got lots of picks right now. If it ain't a first or maybe a second, I don't even want to hear about it. It's just going to send a bad message in that locker room. Which leads us to the final category that I want to talk about. Should the Canadiens have made a good old-fashioned hockey trade? I'm talking 1 for 1, a player for a player. And this is where it gets interesting. I would have been okay with this. I mean, it's not a secret that the biggest hole in the lineup right now is their second-line center position. But the reality of the situation is, outside of Dylan Cousins, we had no idea who was available, and we had no idea what the Sabres would have wanted from the Canadiens in return. I mean, it was quite obvious that they were looking for a roster player, and with Kirby Dach already out once again, Kirby, God, whoa, he's like a Rice Krispies cartoon character, but I really don't know what else they could have possibly offered. So basically, what I'm trying to say is, they weren't buyers, they probably felt like they weren't in a position to sell, so they just didn't do anything. And I know some of you are going to be pissed off about it. You're going to be pissed off that you didn't get Rantanen or Zegras or Connor McDavid or Paul Decaf Coffee. But me, I don't really care. I understand the reasoning. I'm okay with it. But what I want now is for you to let me know how you feel down in that dirty, rotten comment section. Please don't forget to give that like button a big slap right before you leave here. And hey, I'll see you next time.